The moment after genius speaks is always uncomfortable. The boardroom felt like a storm that had passed but left the air thick and wrong. The graphs on the wall were no longer red. They were green, stable, obedient. The machine hummed quietly, as if it had always known how to behave and had only been waiting for someone to listen. Marcus Johnson stepped back from the keyboard. No applause came. Applause would have been easier. Instead, there was the sound of men swallowing pride. Kenji Watanabe stood very still. His hands were clasped behind his back, his posture straight, his face unreadable. He had ruled rooms like this for decades, but never had silence pressed against him so heavily. Finally, he turned everyone out, he said. No anger. No explanation, just authority. One by one, the engineers rose. Chairs scraped softly. No one met Marcus's eyes now. Not because he was beneath them, but because he was no longer. Angela stood near the wall, her fingers tight around the tea tray. Her heart was pounding so loudly she was sure they could hear it. She had raised her son to be careful, she had not raised him to challenge empires. When the doors closed, the room felt smaller. Watanabe looked at Marcus. You did not hesitate, he said. Marcus shook his head. There was nothing to hesitate about. Most people hesitate when they are afraid, Watanabe replied. Marcus thought. I wasn't afraid of the system. I was afraid of it being wrong. That answer stayed with Watanabe long after the boy finished speaking. Angela expected punishment, that was how life had always worked. When someone like her crossed an invisible line, even accidentally, there was always a cost. Instead, Kenji Watanabe did something that unsettled her more. He asked questions, not about her mistakes, about her sacrifices. How long have you worked here? He asked. 7 years, Angela replied. And before that? 2 hotels. 1 hospital. Detroit before that. Your husband? Angela's throat tightened. Passed away. Watanabe nodded once. No sympathy. No pity. Just acknowledgement. Then he turned to Marcus. I will offer you something, he said. And I will not disguise it as generosity. He slid a thin black folder across the table. Marcus didn't touch it. Watanabe noticed. You don't trust gifts, he said. Marcus replied calmly. Gifts usually expect obedience later. Watanabe smiled slightly. You are correct. Inside the folder were numbers most people would have lost consciousness over. Private education. Global mentors. Research access. Security clearance. Angela's knees nearly gave out. Marcus closed the folder. I don't want to belong to you, he said. The room held its breath. Watanabe studied him for a long moment, then he laughed, not loudly, but honestly. Good, he said. Ownership makes people small. He leaned forward. Then learn, Watanabe continued. Observe. Question. Argue. And when you outgrow this building, leave. Angela felt tears rise before she could stop them. For the first time in years, opportunity didn't sound like a trap. Power does not announce its resentment. IT watches. From the first day Marcus returned to the building, he felt it. Keycards that hesitated. Meetings rescheduled without explanation. Eyes that followed him just long enough to feel deliberate. He walked past men who had written textbooks and women who taught algorithms to governments. Some nodded stiffly. Others didn't look at him at all. Dr. Liang Chen watched the longest. Not with hatred, with fear. Marcus noticed everything. He noticed how data moved slower when he was involved. How approvals took longer. How internal emails used passive language when mentioning his work. He did not complain. He adjusted. Angela worried. This place isn't safe, she whispered one night. Not like they pretend. Marcus nodded. It's not dangerous yet. It's defensive. That's worse, she said. He smiled softly. Then we'll be careful. The second failure came without warning. Markets froze. Orders stalled. Confidence trembled. But this time, the system didn't behave like a broken machine. It behaved like a wounded one. Watanabe called Marcus immediately. Marcus didn't rush. He watched, listened, tracked not just the code, but the timing of human responses around it. This wasn't an accident, Marcus said finally. Watanabe's eyes hardened. Explain. Someone didn't touch the system, Marcus replied. They touched the people who touched it. The sabotage was elegant, invisible, designed to look like incompetence. Marcus understood then. This wasn't about him fixing a machine. It was about proving he never should have been trusted. The investigation went nowhere. Logs were clean. Permissions intact. Every protocol followed. That's when Marcus asked for something no one else had dared. I want to see behavior data, he said. Doctor. Chin stiffened. That's confidential. Watanabe nodded. Give it to him. Marcus spent nights mapping hesitation patterns, not in code, but in people, who delayed approvals. Who rerouted authority. Who hesitated when Marcus succeeded. Fear left fingerprints. When the pattern emerged, Marcus didn't feel triumph. He felt sadness. Doctor. Liang Chen hadn't tried to destroy him. He had tried to save himself. When confronted, Chen didn't deny it. I built my identity on being indispensable, he said quietly. And then you arrived. Watanabe dismissed him without ceremony. Power does not punish fear. Power does not punish fear. It removes it. Marcus became a symbol. Symbols attract attention. Media inquiries arrived quietly, then loudly. Think tanks offered stages. Universities offered futures that looked suspiciously controlled. Online, people argued about him like he wasn't real. Plant. Exception. Token. Angela stopped reading comments after someone said, he'll disappear once they're done using him. Marcus didn't. He read everything, and then he made a decision. I don't want to be rare, he said to Watanabe one evening. Rarity is power, Watanabe replied. No, Marcus said. Rarity is isolation. They didn't call it a foundation at first, they called it an experiment. Balance wasn't about scholarships or press releases. It was about access. Old laptops. Quiet rooms. Mentors who listened instead of shaped. Children from kitchens. From security desks. From street corners where brilliance went unnoticed. Angela resigned the day Balance opened. Not because she had to, but because she finally could. On his 51st birthday, Kenji Watanabe stood in the same boardroom where everything had tilted. Marcus was at the front now, not alone, but not protected either. People listened, not because of his story, because of his clarity. Watanabe watched from the side. For the first time in his life, he was not the smartest presence in the room, and for the first time, he was grateful. Years later, when asked how it all began, Marcus never spoke about money. He spoke about silence, about a room full of experts who stopped listening. About a system that forgot people. About a moment when power leaned, and someone young enough to notice pushed it straight, because the world does not change when the powerful speak. It changes when they are forced to listen.